Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of ParaMindful. I'm one of your co-hosts, Melball Collins. Over on that side is Alex, the werewolf, and down there is the wonderfully talented Karl Alex. My boys, how are you doing today? Anyone, take the stage.
Carl, speechless right now at the wonderfully talented.
I mean, listen to that voice. It's smooth as butter.
Well, I prefer silk over butter, but
Hey, there you go.
yeah.
I like my butter with popcorn, sir.
True. True. True.
How
I'm
are we
doing
doing, Karl?
absolutely fantastic though. I
Awesome.
mean, life is great, life is grand. What more could I ask for?
Digging that sweater too there.
Right? Thank you, StreamYard, for the amazing merch that I was sent. I was sent a beautiful sweater as well as a like couch pillow. So thank you, StreamYard.
Swagga. And Alex, how are we doing today?
I'm really good. I'm working off a different computer because mine died, which is why the last video was very little edited as opposed to very lot edited. I got a new computer on the way. They're hard to find, so I have one on the way though. So I'm gonna make do with this laptop, which is very much underpowered, and then go from there.
Hey, it looks good with the background though.
This is my dining room art piece.
Fancy pants.
Yeah,
Looks
It's
like something La
gorgeous.
Llorona would just kind of lurk in a little bit
exactly. She should belong like right here-ish.
there. Right in that nice
Maybe
little
I'll add it.
clearing, yeah.
I should add it.
Yeah. Be a little Easter egg in your dining room.
It's,
Awesome. Well,
how are
we
you,
have an
Mel?
amazing. How am I? I am doing amazing. What day is it? I don't even know what day it is. It's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It is hump day. We are halfway through the week, and my goodness, I'm looking forward to this weekend, but whew, it is a busy one. It's WrestleMania weekend for all of us wrestling fans. We've got a lot going on, and everything kind of starts tomorrow when the
Mhm.
Multiverse United show with Impact Wrestling and NJBW starts. We're not going to get on a wrestling tangent, though,
Nope.
because this girl will go for hours. So that being said, we have an amazing topic that we have been waiting to share for you guys on this episode. We are finally getting into the Skinwalker Ranch. This is something that I myself don't know a whole ton about. I'm kind of going to act like a navigator here, asking the heavy, hard questions that you guys want to ask the more knowledgeable Alex and Karl here.
2020, it was once again sold. It was sold from Bigelow to, at that time, an unknown buyer.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's been revealed now with this whole TV show that's been done. It's kind of been revealed who the new owner of it is. But yeah, I mean, that's like everything, pretty much a huge timeline of things for the UFO sightings. And I just wanted to kind of, I know that Joe wanted to be on here with us this week, and he wasn't able to. So um, maybe we'll see a little something from Joe. I'm not sure.
Sure.
Don't quote me on anything, but um, I do want to point out that one of the ideals that he has is kind of something that I share as well. And Alex, you and I kind of talked about this a little bit with the helicopter situation. That you were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Wow, what the hell
Yeah.
is that?" Right?
Mhm.
Um, so during the television program that's been happening, they've been trying to figure out what is going on, why these different things are happening, why people are getting sick, just kind of what is going on. So they actually took devices that almost looked like they were in Pringles cans, like they were cylinder tubes that they had trackers in, and they took a whole ton of them up in a helicopter with them, and they started dropping them out the window. As they're dropping them out the window, the wind that should be going against them seemingly takes these cylinders against the wind and through the wind as opposed to being pushed by the wind, which was something very odd. And Joe and I kind of share a similar ideal with this, is that I think that there's a cloaked something that is up there, whether it's a UFO or something else. Considering everything that the government was doing, the government was involved with so much there. They may have been testing different cloaking devices type of thing. And I
Mm.
really think that the reason why these things started going in weird and opposite directions from where they should have, instead of going straight down or kind of down with a little bit of a slight, angle on them, they were going way off of targets. And I think it's because they were hitting something and then kind of sliding and going to other places.
Mm.
So very possible that there is a UFO that is up there of some sort, cloaked so that we can't see it, that these were kind of pinging off of. So
Mm.
I don't know. It's a very weird place, and
Mm.
just to have that much having to do with unidentified flying objects,
Mhm.
it kind of concerns me a little bit, but really intrigues me at the same time.
100%. There almost seems to be a bit of a combo breaker kind of happening there because we've got the extraterrestrial and stuff that's happening in the sky there, but then we also have the property itself where the house was dead bolted to oblivion, and we've got
Right.
massive blue-eyed wolves and the idea of cryptids coming in
I
and
can
attacking things.
I can add on to what Carl said actually.
Please.
Go
Um,
ahead.
so the background, I guess, of um, the Skinwalker Ranch is the lore says that the whole Uinta Basin, so like the Skinwalker Ranch and everything around it, the mountains and everything, was all cursed
Mhm.
because um,
Who messed
Uinta
up?
County. What's that?
Who messed up?
Oh, exactly right. So the
Who effed around and found out?
Uinta County, which it borders two. Here we would call them reserves, but they're not in the state, I don't think. Or are they reservations in the states? I don't
Reservations.
know for
Yes.
sure. Are they
Yep. They
reservations? Okay.
definitely are.
There were two. There was the Ouray Indians and the I think it was just
Navajo.
The Uinta Indians or the Ute Indians, whatever,
Ute.
something. Anyways,
Ute and Navajo.
What
um,
happened?
and one was dealing with the government when they shouldn't have been, and the other one got mad at him, and so cursed the whole land. So I just thought I'd put that there. So it's like it's been cursed for a long time, in theory, right? What I was really interested in was kind of explaining a little bit more about Bob Bigelow. Um,
Right.
Bob Bigelow is not a wackadoo. He's not crazy. Bob Bigelow he was a real estate guy and made millions and millions and millions of dollars by owning Budget Suites of America. He started that company, the hotel chain, and from there he created Bigelow Aerospace. Bigelow Aerospace is so legit that the government has given them money and they have created what is going to be the living structures on Mars. So what the people are going to be living in. His stuff has already been sent to space on SpaceX. So it's not like he's just making this shit up as he goes. He's not crazy, which is the interesting thing because he started a foundation called NIDS. So it's the National Institute for Discovery Science. I think, did you mention that, Carl?
I did
Yeah?
not.
No. Okay, so he started that and it was to fund the research and study of like fringe science. So UFOs, ghosts, all sorts of things on this property because it's absolutely crazy. But most importantly, it was to study ufology, I guess. So they researched cattle mutilations that happened on Skinwalker Ranch, as well as large black triangles that would fly and float in the sky. That's what reminded me. You were talking about the helicopter drops and things. The
Yeah.
giant black triangles, which, if I'm being honest, I have seen one, and it scared the living shit out of me. So One day maybe I'll talk about that story, but not today.
I hope so.
It was one of those experiences in my life where I was genuinely terrified, but I had no reason to be genuinely terrified. Like the minute I saw it, I felt like I was being watched. But anyways, I'll get into that story another time if you guys want to ask me, but not the time, not the place. What else can I tell you?
We do have an alien encounter episode planned in the future here, so maybe we can fit it in there.
Maybe that's what I'll do, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
What else can I tell you? He has he did consciousness studies as well. So he put a I was going to call it a ransom. It's not a ransom, a reward of $1 million for anybody who can prove to him that there is life after death. So I thought that was kind of cool. So he's interested in this weird stuff, but he's so legit, and it's unbelievable. Usually when you're talking about this kind of cryptid things, and you got guys who are coming in and be like, oh, I bought a property and I'm seeing all this shit and I'm recording things, Ball, but I don't have any recordings because all the cameras broke. Or that's not really the case, because Bob Bigelow didn't spend time at the ranch. He hired and paid scientists to go there and debunk shit. And it was to the point where the scientists would see something and they go, shit, we finally caught this on camera. They'd go to the camera and they would find that the camera had been unplugged, but the camera's 30 feet off the ground. It's really bizarre things. Just as a side note, Terry Sherman, actually going back to your thing about post holes, Mel, he was using a post hole digger that was 70 or 80 pounds. He walked back to his truck to grab another post, and when he came back, the post hole digger was missing. It took him hours to find the post hole digger, and guess where he found the 70 to 80 pound post hole digger? 20 feet in a tree. I don't know. I
believe the kids today call that yeeting.
What's that, sorry?
I believe the kids today call that yeeting.
Yeeting.
Yeeted into a tree.
If you can yeet a 70 or 80 pound post hole digger, you should be an Olympian.
Right?
There's so much stuff that goes on here that we'd need several shows to talk about. And originally we had decided to cut this into 2, but things kind of got a little bit wonky with my computer and all that stuff, as well as a guest that we were having on. And it just makes more sense to make this into one concise. Maybe we can revisit it down the road, but yeah, so that's what I have about Bob Bigelow. I am a huge fan of Bob Bigelow. However, I'm not blinded by who Bob Bigelow is. Like, the money doesn't matter to me and all that stuff, but I just find it very interesting how he's not he's not a dude from a little podunk town who is, I think I'm going to find me some UFOs, you know. He's the dude who's like, I need to figure out what's going on. He had an experience as a young man, and it had led him to this point. He needed to figure out what it was. Finally, he got the money from his, like, he's worth $700 million or something ridiculous like that. So
yeah,
he has the money now to figure out what the hell is going on, or try to figure out what's going on. So
now, Alex, you mentioned cattle mutilations that were happening there. Do the cattle mutilations, do we think are a Skinwalker problem, or do we think they're an alien problem, or do we think it's a combo breaker?
My absolute idea is that it is UFO related. It is extraterrestrial related. However, I don't know if they're extraterrestrials per se, or if they are dimensional beings. So there are stories of the scientists actually saw a black circle appear in the sky, and inside that black circle was a blue circle that got bigger and bigger and bigger to the size of what the black circle would have been. And they're like, well, why is this blue? What's going on? They saw the sky through this circle, is what they said. So clouds and everything. They saw what they say was 9 feet tall or 7 feet tall. I had it written down here. I think it was 9 feet. but a large hairy hominid come out of that circle and run away. They have seen floating lights over fields and then gone exactly to where that floating lights were when there was light out. And these cattle have been completely drained of blood, but not to the point of like blood draining on the ground or blood even settling at the bottom of their bodies. Like there's just no blood. But things have been excised, like the rectum, damn near killed them, sorry, have been excised with such precision that they don't know how it's done. And you could say somebody in the night did it, maybe a butcher or something. However, there is a very well-documented case that they had tagged a calf, a younger cow, 45 minutes prior to finding this cow dead with no blood, with portions of his body, like his cheeks were missing. He had an eye missing, genitals were missing, as well as the anus. So it's just, there's not enough time to do it. I don't know. It's crazy. So anyways, I think it has to do with UFOs. I think it's the exact same thing that's happening everywhere with cattle mutilations, because they have found footprints of cows that just go and go and go and then just disappear. Where the hell does a 400, 500 pound cow go? It can't jump. Well, I guess it could jump, but it can't jump into, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to find the tracks. You're going to find the cow, right? It's just, it doesn't make any sense. So,
I mean, they do find the cow, but it's like 200 feet away, mutilated.
See, I have stories of three. There were 3 different instances where they tracked the cow that was missing and it was just gone. They never found them ever again. And there was no tire tracks. It was just footprint, nothing. So, yeah.
Very similar to the dog.
There's obviously lots of mutilations as well. So it's just really, really bizarre. And I don't know what the hell it is with these beings and liking cows. It doesn't make any sense to me. Unless they like steak, but they're not even taking the good parts of the fucking cow. So
I was gonna say, and like they're not really taking them from Alberta. Come on, we got the best.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe they are. Who knows? Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, but like you said, they're not taking the right places. So I mean,
Hey man,
I can't imagine a place where cow buttholes would be a delicacy. However,
who knows? Maybe they're using them as something else.
Put in soups.
Yeah, that's right. I got a cow butthole soup.
Pretty good.
That up.
Interesting. So, I mean, obviously, this Bigelow gentleman, he didn't find the answers he is kind of looking for, did he?
So here's the thing. Bob Bigelow has lots and lots and lots of files, most of which he gave to the DIA when he sold it to them. He still has a whole boatload of files that he will not tell what is inside those files. They are top secret for him and his scientific people only. He will not release them. What he found, I don't know. Something's going on there for sure.
That's
I don't
interesting.
know. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. What's that? Sorry?
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Yeah, don't be suspicious.
Right,
Don't be suspicious.
Bigelow didn't even give any of that information to the new and current owner, Brandon Fugel.
Yeah.
None of his information. I don't believe it's an NBA guy.
No, like the guy who owns someone, like a
Oh, he might.
player, like a team.
I don't know. I haven't really looked into
He's
his
that like
personal.
rich millionaire dude, right?
I mean, he is.
I'm looking at it
very
right now.
rich.
He would have to be rich. I know he's rich because I had read something about him that he owns several properties and things. Give me a second here.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, the dude owns his own freaking helicopter.
Yeah, he owns boats and planes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but how? Where did you get that money, sir? And then why are you spending it on this? That's very interesting. And then,
Right?
like, why would Bigelow not share that information? That to me is very suspicious because it's like he gave some to the government, which he's fine with the government knowing. But were the files that he kept are copies of them given to them. Do we know that? Did they know what's in that file too? And that being said, what could be so sensitive and damning that they're not releasing it? Because at this point, if there's nothing scary or if it's just like a reasonable explanation for stuff, it would make sense that it would be released. But if it's like, if I'm making the decision to hold something back, it's because I know that there's going to be some kind of massive public freak out that's going to
Right.
follow this information. So, like, it concerns me what you are hiding from the world, sir, and does not lead me to trust people with your bank account.
Right. Here's something interesting, though. Now
Hmm.
that the government has actually admitted that there are things that they don't know what they are, I feel like it's only going to escalate. We're only going to get more and more and more. When he had his information, it was very much UFOs don't exist. They don't exist. So
Hmm.
I think I personally feel, and it's going to sound so crazy, I feel like we're on the cusp of something big. I feel like something is going to happen. I don't know what it is. I'm not thinking like Independence Day kind of thing, but like something's going to happen and they're just going to have to be like, listen, guys, 1947, shit happened in Roswell. Ever since, we've been fuckity fucked. We don't know what's going on. Sorry, don't swear. Swearing is bad. I'm looking for Brandon Fugel, and he
Yes.
is. I'm still like he's very very difficult to find anything about, and it's very very bizarre.
That is very
Really?
bizarre. How do you have that much money and no one knows who you are?
Yeah, exactly right. So
Hmm.
I
Also,
do know
just
that he is
a
the
shout out
chairman.
there, like when your government says, "Oh, nothing exists," and then suddenly goes, "Oh yeah, no, it does." Make more of a
Yeah.
stink about it.
So the thing is,
Come
how
on.
how do you trust someone or something or a group who has lied to you, saying no, it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist? Yeah, all right, you know what? We were lying to you, and it does exist, right?
Wah,
Um,
wah.
I found some stuff about Brandon Fugel. He is the chairman of Colliers International. So Colliers is it's like a realtor company, or
Yeah.
not even a company. It's like a conglomerate, I guess. We have them out here. They sell large properties, large buildings, that kind of thing, like stuff that's worth a lot of money.
Hmm.
What do we got here? I honestly, he was the co-founder and owner of Coldwell Banker Commercial Advisors.
Yep.
It's really interesting because there's not a ton of stuff on him, and I find that so bizarre.
I do as well. Especially when like you get the right friend who like has that FBI level investigative
Yeah,
findability.
he's
You can find something on everybody. But to have that person be in such a position of power essentially,
yeah,
and from
and have
real estate,
nothing. Yeah, be
clearly
very
I'm
yeah,
wrong,
which means
Bigelow.
he's legit.
Mhm.
Leading he's co-founded and been an investor and entrepreneur for companies such as Cipher, Accend. I'm assuming those are computer companies, and
Mhm.
Texas Growth Fund. His special projects include the development and master planning of 1,250 acres on the north shore of Oahu, which is honestly, if you go to the north shore of Oahu, Hawaii, there's a place called it's a Mexican restaurant. Oh my god, it's a Mexican restaurant. It's amazing. It's called Cholos. Oh, get the nachos. I'm telling you, you will message in
Don't
the
make us
comments and
hungry, Alex.
listen. That was I'm getting hungry for sure. Message in the comments after you try them and be like, "Good lord, dude, you were absolutely right. Cholos nachos were mind blasting." Anyways, so 1,250 acres on the North Shore. He has the 512 acres of Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, Evermore Park in Pleasant Grove, and the 120-acre Thanksgiving development in Lehigh, which is insane. To own that stuff is ridiculous. So,
Hmm.
but it doesn't really go on further than to just describe what XSend is, and it's a innovative compact nanoflow liquid chromatography system. Whatever the fork that does. Yeah, so.
That sounds super confusing.
I'm looking at his LinkedIn, so take it for what it is. He doesn't really stay places very long, but lots of things having to do with Hawaii. So I'm assuming I don't. It doesn't say where he grew up, where he was born. So I'm assuming maybe he's Hawaiian.
Oh,
I have no idea. Guys. That's all I could find. I apologize.
Interesting. I'll have to look up who I was thinking that person was. Anyhow.
Actually, he was a lifelong resident of Pleasant Grove.
Now, where is Pleasant Grove? Because that just sounds like a town that's just in itself probably not pleasant. Like the names of these cities are usually the opposite of what it is that they actually are.
To my understanding, Pleasant Grove is going to be Utah.
That makes sense, because it does say he's located in Utah now. So.
That makes sense.
In Salt Lake, I believe.
Interesting. So all of this started from a potential curse that from what I understand, from what it is you guys kind of presented here, and has kind of evolved with the extraterrestrial stuff. I'm very curious as to why the extraterrestrials are drawn to that area, if there is a potential for a curse involving the skinwalkers themselves. Do you guys have any theories on that?
I do. I don't know if Karl does, but
go ahead.
Not really. Like, I mean, I'm still kind of sifting through everything. So what's your theory?
My theory stems back to the mineral rights belonging to the Myers. What if, because we're not allowed to dig to find out what's there, right? What if there's a whole bunch of quartz or a whole bunch of limestone or something that provides some type of energy? Because I'm a giant nerd. I'm a giant nerd, so this will make sense to nerds. But a piezo igniter, so a spark igniter on a barbecue or a water heater or whatever, has a piece of crystal, piece of quartz inside it. And what happens is you push it, and then a little piece of metal comes down and hits it really hard, and it creates a little bit of electricity. What if there's a huge quantity of quartz or some other mineral that gives electricity, and that's kind of like a hot spot, kind of like I want to say hub, but hub seems like an overused word, but like it becomes kind of like a focal point where things can happen from. You know what I mean? Because in theory, I mean, with the technology that we have, everything needs some sort of mode of propulsion, right? Mm-hmm. Whether that's gasoline, diesel fuel, jet fuel, kerosene, whatever it is, and hydrogen. Maybe they use something that, you know, like maybe it's just easier to enter our, I want to say reality. I don't.
Our atmosphere.
Yeah, but even
for
like
a recharge.
Right, but like even jumping through that circle, like maybe maybe it just makes it easier with the amount of energy that's out there. You know what I mean? That's just my theory. I have no proof. I have no basis for this. Just going off the fact that Edith and Kenneth didn't want anybody to dig there. Mm-hmm. So what did they know? Because they're clearly past. But what did they know that they didn't share? Or, you know, so.
I think it's a fantastic theory.
I mean, what if it could be a mineral thing, but what if it could be that might have been an old wreckage site? What if there's an old ship under there that could be acting like that beacon?
That's the other thing I was going to bring up. So there is, was it New Mexico? There is, mine just went blank. There's the thought that there is a military/alien base under one of the plateaus, and who are we to say that there's nothing under there? Who are we to say that a million years ago or something, there wasn't something that just landed there and just got, shipwrecked or whatever it would be, so.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Dulce is what I'm thinking. So, but it seems to me that there is a very large quantity of crazy flying shit alien stuff that hangs around dry desert places. Las Vegas, Paradise, Nevada, Pahrump, Nevada. Shout out to George. No, screw George Norrie. We don't like. My apologies. I don't like George Norrie. I'm talking about.
Area 51 too, right?
Well, yeah. George Knapp is awesome. I love George Knapp. I think he's phenomenal. But I'm talking about Art Bell. Sorry, from Pahrump, Nevada.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems to me that it's very concentrated to very dry places, like desert places, and I feel like this is an exceptionally pinpointed area where a lot of stuff is happening. So, X marks the spot. Maybe, I don't know. So,
that's true.
There has to be a reason. There has to be a reason why all this stuff happens there, and it's stuff that is like infinitely crazier than what we would normally see. So
something tells me there's very little rationality in this area for explaining what is going on, and maybe that's why all of the files have been kept secret, because maybe we wouldn't be ready for the explanation, because that maybe it would just be too Pacific Rim for us.
And we're running out of time.
We could go on.
And things like I was just gonna toss it out there where you said we're not ready for it. I have a theory, another theory. I think a lot about this stuff because my brain never shuts up. I have a feeling that actually I know for a fact that the CIA has an office in Hollywood that gives advice to movies and say, hey, we can't talk about that and stuff. It's been 100% proven. The CIA has actually said that they do have this. What if the government is slowly feeding us things to get us ready for something? I say that with two examples in mind. First one being War of the Worlds. Right at the beginning of War of the Worlds, on the radio, it was explained that this is not satire, but it's a story and stuff. It was so realistic to these people that they were jumping off buildings, they were committing suicide, they were pulling out all their money from the stock markets, etc., etc. It was real to these people. What if that was like let's see what happens if we tell them? The second story is Spielberg. When he came out with E.T., there was a special viewing in the Oval Office for the president, and the president looked at Spielberg, and this is a third-person story. This is a guy who was in there with Spielberg and the president. If you want to believe if you want to believe him, I should say. He said that the president turned to Spielberg and said, "You have no idea how close you are." And that's it. Gives me goosebumps because apparently that's all he said. And so Spielberg was like, "What do you mean?" And then the president was shut up by whoever the fuck his advisor was. But it just, I feel like it's slowly being leaked out, and we're slowly being, I don't want to say desensitized. Let's say we're being hardened, maybe, or tempered.
Desensitized is the right word.
I don't want to use desensitized because we would still be like, oh my God, this is terrifying. However, I remember something in my life about this, right? I think we're being tempered. We're being released just enough for us to get used to it, and then they give us more. And then we get used to it, and then we get more. It's not that we're getting desensitized because it would mean we didn't care. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, like at this point, I don't. I see something come out and I'd be like, well, I knew that 10 years ago. Just because you're fessing up to it now doesn't mean that I'm a
that doesn't mean
that
that doesn't mean you're desensitized. That means you're tempered. If you're like, I don't give a shit about aliens, they're in, I don't give a fuck. That would be desensitized, right? Like, it's just you wouldn't care if they were taking over the earth. I feel something's going to happen. We're on the cusp of something, is what I feel like. Sorry, Mel, I didn't hear what you said.
I mean, they probably are already here. We just
Yeah,
don't.
true. That's
Looking.
also the other. That's all. That's the thing I believe. But
Yeah.
I have a lot of weird beliefs and I have a lot of theories about stuff, and that's kind of why when
We'll
we
need a second
came
video
up with
for
the
it.
idea for that's
Yeah.
mindful, I was all for it, right? Because I was like, worst case scenario is I'm full of shit and I'm wrong. Best case scenario is somebody learned something new, right?
And
So
we've now terrified the public. Well, guys, do you have anything else to add to this very, very long episode of Skinwalker Ranch, which we probably should have turned into 2 episodes, and we will probably talk about it again at some point because there's just so much detail that goes into this place. It's been on the planet for a hot minute, and clearly it's not going away, and there's still activity going on there. So
yeah.
yeah, do you guys have anything else to add on this before we close out here?
I only have to add that Brendan Fugel guy has put Skinwalker Ranch on full lockdown. We're talking razor wire
Yes.
fences, blocked gates, no trespassing signs, cameras
everywhere. Yeah.
It's top security right now. So that's all I have to say. But thank you, Sky, for letting me chat my face off.
Has
I don't
something
know.
happened to make him do that, or?
I have no idea. He bought it and it was like immediately. It was like fences up, cameras, no trespassing. Yeah.
Now, is that to keep people in or keep people out?
It's definitely to keep people out.
If you're going by the razor wire fences, it's to keep people out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're angled outwards.
So I know, Mel, that you had said we should have made this into a 2-episode thing. Maybe we have figured out how to do that. Maybe we have split this episode up into 2, possibly in editing. Who knows?
Yeah, it's possible.
But, so when it was sold to Brandon Fugel, a number of the researchers and staff members stayed on with Brandon when he came and took over, and a lot of them, and so one of the guys there, the head of security, his nickname is Dragon. That's how everybody knows him. He's Dragon, right? And he was one of the ones that really came to him and said, listen, there's some weird ish that's been going on here that I'm sure you're clearly aware of, and these are the security measures that I think that we should be putting into place. And Brandon essentially went, you've been here longer than I have, you know better than I do, what do we need done? So Dragon really gave him, and here, this is what needs to happen, because they had problems with people trespassing, because Dragon's team had to literally go with their guns and remove people off of the property, and it was becoming such a burden on the security team and the security personnel that were there that they had just said, you know what, done with this, we need to put something into place. And thankfully Brandon came in and said, do what you got to do.
I can also add a little bit of information. I totally just remembered this. Robert Bigelow, so Bob Bigelow, when he sold it to Brandon, one of the stipulations was that he keeps the scientific staff on.
Yes.
So there's still scientific stuff going down there. And as far as I can understand, or as far as I could learn, I suppose, they are still being paid by Bob Bigelow. I don't know that 100% sure, but that's what I've read. But I have no corroborating evidence. I clearly don't have access to his bank account or anything. But so
now, I have a question about something one of you guys, I can't remember if it was Karl or Alex, mentioned at the beginning, that there was a death of a colleague or a research person in regards to Skinwalker Ranch.
No. So what I had mentioned, close. What I had mentioned was that in 2005, Richard Oliver and April Slaughter and a few other people had their own encounter. April gave her experience in a 20-minute video that she put up onto YouTube, and in that video, she talks about the death of Richard Oliver.
Okay.
One of the fellow investigators that was out there. So,
Okay. Now, did he pass something completely different, or did he pass because of something that happened in this?
wink, wink, nod, nod, shake, shake. We don't know. They say that it was kind of like he lived afterwards, right? So he was able to actually tell his side and his tale, but it's almost as though he wasn't the same afterwards.
Oh.
And yeah, so they can't really put it on his death was because of this alien encounter or not. So
I feel I need more detail. What happened with this one?
go and watch the video. It'll be in the description box down below. You can hear April talk about it. And I do believe that after April's video, there is Richard's there as well, which I believe is more of a 50 minute video where he goes through and explains everything as well for himself. I found April's to be very compelling. And it was a shorter video that would kind of keep attention spans of most people nowadays. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because going over 30 minutes can be difficult nowadays. We say as we're looking at an hour and 10-ish almost minutes.
Yeah. Right. What I might do is I might cut this in half, and we'll go maybe like a 40 minute or something like that. So it might be a little bit shorter, but you won't know that because you'll be watching the first one, and you won't know that until the end. So that'll be right now, and you'll be like, they were shorter. So it just makes things easier for everybody. There's a lot to digest here, so
100%. More questions than answers. That's for dang sure.
Yes,
without a doubt. Yeah.
If we have nothing else we want to chat about or add, we should probably wrap this bad boy up. Alex, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, but I will keep you posted if I find anything else out about Skinwalker.
Awesome. And Karl, do you have anything else you want to add?
I do not. Stay tuned. Who knows?
This is definitely a developing story.
Yep.
So that being said, we want to draw your attention to our amazing sponsor, which is Rogue Energy. If you go to rogueenergy.com, you can use our promo code OLEPODS to get 10% off of your order. They've got an amazing lineup of flavors. My personal favorite is the blood orange. It literally tastes like you are eating a blood orange. It is amazing. Karl, we got an amazing video to show off all the amazing flavors that has the energy, the protein, the hydration. Let's drop it on the people. Such a fancy pants video. I absolutely love it.
It slaps pretty hard.
It does. The music is just great. Everything is just good job, Rogue. Good job. And Karl, you want to introduce us to our amazing merchandise. We got some ParaMindful stuff that we want to share with you.
We definitely do. Take a look down at the ticker below. You can see the website to go to. I shortened it up for everyone this episode. KarlCarafel.redbubble.com is where you're going to go for all the merchandise for ParaMindful. Right now, all we've got is the logo that you see up in the corner up there. That ParaMindful logo is available on hats, t-shirts, mugs.
Up above Alex.
Yep. Up there. Up. I can't.
Other side, Alex. Other side.
I see him right there,
Alex.
Other side.
Other side.
There, I see him right there. I'm just saying, because my camera's flipped. That's why.
Yes,
my camera's. I was like, no, it's right there. Trust me. It makes sense now. I understand.
So the logo on the other side of Alex is pointing.
I'm
There
assuming
we go.
here.
There it is. Right up there. That's where you can, get all that different stuff. It's karlkarafel.redbubble.com. Like I said, whether it's hats, t-shirts, there are mugs that are there. There's travel mugs that are there. A plethora of different things available
I
for
was
you to go and
I was
purchase.
working on a bunch of new logos and stuff, and they're all dead now with my dreams and my computer.
So it will be a
still
little
living
bit
that
before
Freddie
we
Mercury
get
dream.
new stuff, but we definitely will be putting out, giving to you guys some new ParaMindful merch as well.
Some new spooky-ooky-ish.
That's right.
And of course, you want to follow our amazing friends at our local establishment. They are so great over there, shadow streaming all of us on Saturday. So if you're catching this on Monday, you want to catch it on Saturday on OLE there. You'll probably see some amazing other content on there, including Busting Out, Ring Radio Respect. Karl, Turnbuckle Talks, Raw Watch Along is always on there. So many great shows to check out. Definitely go check them out. And of course, you have all of us on there. You can follow our local establishment on all of our little trendy thingies down there. They're on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. You can email them. They're on TikTok. We are everywhere. Come and find us. That being said, Karl, what have you got going on this week? We got the Raw Watch Along happening on Monday after ParaMindful. So if you're watching Raw and want to have some guys to keep you company with watching Raw, you can join Karl. You can join Chris Best. Sometimes Chris Parrish pops in there. You got how does he like his name? Because I've been calling him Dan the Man.
Dan works fine. He goes by OMD, the one man dynamic. That's what he was known when he was working in the professional wrestling business.
Tremendous.
Yeah. And then sometimes Bubba Duke Lewis is there as
Mhm.
well. So we got a pretty good crew of people that are over there. But you know what? We're always looking for other people who may want to hop in, especially. I wouldn't mind if there was a little bit of a female presence available as well. That might be a cool idea to kind of, maybe keep us in our reins, so to speak.
Keep you
Right?
on the rails as opposed to off of them.
Right. Very much so. Yeah.
Oh, this Melball needs to find a way to watch Raw, let alone how to be in the conversation with you guys. But we can figure out something in the future. I'm sure get some Raw watching ladies on there for you.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it. But
Call
yeah,
out
like
for the ladies.
so many different things that I do. If you have seen anything else, and you want to go back and take a watch, I've done some stuff with WrestleMania weekend that happened. And then Monday nights, I've got the Raw watch along. Tuesdays, I go live at 8:05 and I have Eastern time, Turnbuckle Talk, where sometimes it's just me. Sometimes I have guests on with me as well. And we just talk a little bit of everything within the world of professional wrestling. Soon we're going to be starting back up Beats and Beatdowns, which will come out. And then Bobby Munson and I are probably looking at another show kind of having to do with just music in general for our local establishments network. So I'm a pretty busy guy when it comes to these recordings.
Excellent. And we love watching your content. So you've also done some unboxing stuff, which I really, really enjoy watching you pull everything out there.
I used to. If you take a look at my YouTube channel, actually, at some point, we're going to see my link tree pop up on the screen for you guys to all go and check out.
I was going to say I have it normally, but I don't have anything, so I'm going to have to recreate it. So we'll put it somewhere. I'm sure.
We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. If not, it'll be down in the description box down below for you as well. I used to do the Pro Wrestling Crate unboxing videos on my YouTube channel. I have since stopped that subscription box because it's hella expensive, and I don't have the $400 to drop on it right now. So, but it was amazing stuff, and you can go back and check out the previous videos of that if you'd like.
Absolutely. And Alex, what are your plans this week?
That's a great question. I'm on call as of tomorrow, so I'm going to be working a lot. I'd love to say that I'd be editing super fancy stuff, but truthfully, I don't know how powerful this computer is because last I used it was many moons ago. So that's why, like, you can see it's kind of grainy, I suppose. So it's not as clear as theirs. So it's a little bit older, but it's working so far. I think we'll find out when we get the recording. But I had a whole bunch of things on the go. I was going to put out a new Werewolf at the Movies movie review. I was going to put out a new Witch Cannon video. All of that stuff is in the ether now, so got to start all over, which is okay because sometimes redoing things makes them better. Sometimes,
right?
But I just wanted to say thank you guys for, like, you two, for I guess you guys are on this side because my camera's flipped. For understanding, because it was like definitely last minute. I was 95. Okay, it crashed on me twice, folks. 95% rendered, and then my computer died. I was like, crap. So I redid the whole thing, 98%, and died for, like, officially dead. And so I messaged these guys and I was like, listen, I got bad news. I don't know what to do. And they're like, oh, well. And then Mel took the ball and ran with it. And so I appreciate it. I appreciate both you guys.
I mean, I dropped it a few times and might have tripped over my own feet also, but we got her done.
Right. I mean, I'm going to just inform everybody. We have a backup plan of those little EVPs if something happens, which people have lives and things happen. I had one of those too, all ready to go. That's also in the ether. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for accepting, I suppose. Yeah.
Hey, that's what we do here at ParaMindful. We pick each other up. We support each other when we need to. And that being said, Alex, if the ladies want to follow you on your social medias, where are they going to find you?
YouTube / it's youtube.com/werewolf at the movies or youtube.com/Weichi-Cannon, UECHICANNON. I'm also on Instagram. I think I have 2 pictures on there now, but I believe it's werewolf on a bike. But there's 2 pictures already. 2.
And hopefully we'll start seeing some ParaMindful advertisings on there soon.
Yeah, I just never think about using it ever. You know, it's just like one of those things where I'm like,
send you on there. You'd think you would be inspired.
Well, see, I'm too busy watching your content. And being impressed by the quality of stuff you're putting out. I'm like, why do I even try?
We're not that good. But that being said, if you are wanting to follow a Melball on her social medias, you can find her on Twitter at Collins Melball and Melball Collins on Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, and now TikTok. We got the tickety talk. We caved to you, little children. Hey, but I did pretty good with my first video. Over 500 views. I'm pretty proud of myself.
There you go.
You did super fantastic with your TikTok and creating a TikTok account that I think, yeah, it's going to be super simple and easy for you to create a Linktree account for yourself as well, which is totally free.
Please and thank you.
Sorry, where's your Linktree, sir?
I have 2 things, and I'm the one who edits it. So, but like it was legit to the point where I had created in Photoshop like all your socials, so I could just take it and put it, and it was brilliant. And now you know where that is? On my hard drive. I saved that on an external hard drive, so I still have that.
Wow.
I just need to add the TikTok.
It is not in the ether. Thank goodness. No more ethers.
No. On lockdown.
That being said, we are coming to the end of our show here. I am Melball Collins. Over there is Alex the Werewolf, and down there is the man with the sexy voice, Karl Alex.
What are you trying to say? I don't have a sexy voice?
What?
Are you trying to say I don't have a sexy voice? Come on now. I got the beard though, I guess. That's fine. No worries.
Yeah.
One of you got the manicured beard, one of you got the sexy voice. And that being said, we will see you next time. Keep it spooky.